see if everything is going through. Looks like it. I always
Right.
have I always have such an intense face when I'm looking at streams. I'm just like,
Hmm.
all right, that is Kyuchi.
We
Reminder,
are Gucci.
we are Kyuchi. Um, reminder to any of our patrons that are hearing this banter right now, any advertisements or anything that we give for the Night House investigation on September 28th, you can 100% just totally ignore them. Guilt free. You're already signed up. Your continued support, all the money and things like that, it's going into the campaign next month, anyways. So we appreciate you. And
Thank
yeah, just carefree. Ignore it. Smile knowing that you already contributed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Perfect. Well, are you ready, Gil?
How is my mic? Am I good?
Sounds good.
I'll need to adjust it another 6 or 7 times. Hold
That's fine.
Okay.
That happens.
on.
All right.
All right, brother.
I am master of my world. I am the victorious intelligence governing it. I send forth into my world this mighty, radiant, intelligent energy of God. I command it to create all perfection, to draw me to the opulence of God made visible in my hands and use. I am no longer the babe of Christ, but the master presence grown to full stature, and I speak and command with authority. Quote, I am Discourses by Saint Germain.
Did you really
Welcome.
drop Gil with 2 L's?
I
Quote.
really did because it felt
Yes.
right.
Quote.
Right. Yeah,
Man, when that shit delivers, that shit delivers.
delivers.
All right, sorry. Go
It's
for
the
it,
book
brother.
he wrote, apparently.
Mm.
Um, welcome to the Black Cat Report in episode 109. I am Joey, and with me is the podcastineer, armchair wrestler extraordinaire, and he actually does not know this yet, but he won the Buffon Award for the best MUFON investigator, Gil. You won.
Thank
you won,
you.
buddy.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, when you said Buffon, I immediately thought you were talking about the other award that I got for boofing. But that's a different
area of
story.
expertise.
And I'm not sure if we can live stream. Actually, here, let me pull it up. Hold on one second. I'll show you guys me winning the Buffon Award. Just give me
Pull it out.
one moment here. Oh no, you'll see a live display. This is a
perfect.
patron exclusive right here.
If you're watching. He's typing.
Hold on
something.
1 second. I'm getting it.
Yep.
I'm getting
He's
it.
getting it. Okay.
Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. There we go.
Beautiful. Well, I mean. Yep.
This is the part where they wanted an encore.
And more like an.
This is when I didn't give it to him. I didn't give it to him then.
Yeah,
They were just freaking out. They were like, how is that possible? And then when I gave it to him,
They weren't ready for it.
who the hell put me in charge of the soundboard? Anyways.
That
Yes.
was something that
Thank
you took on
Joey.
purposefully. Of course. For these moments, you
pain.
took that on. Yeah, the pain.
The
love. And the weight. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we wanted to mention that this will be our last episode in Time Traveler Month, this part 2. And Gil and I will be getting our minds out of the time travel brain, like we said, and maybe into something a little more grounded. We also wanted to thank our Patreon members for being live with us, watching us as we record this. You too can watch us live via our Patreon as we are recording. You can also watch full unedited episodes on video with a certain tier of our Patreon. And We also wanted to mention our Indiegogo campaign for our paranormal investigation we are trying to do in Hopkinsville. Gil, you want to talk about this?
A freaking course I do. Thank you, Joey. Yeah. So really quick breakdown here. $5. That $5 will get you access to the private live stream, right? And what that is honestly, it's your key to what might be a first of its kind investigation. So on September 28th this year, the crew of Beer, Booze, and Boogeyman, we're all going to be going to Hopkinsville, Kentucky to investigate a notoriously haunted Civil War era house. We're getting the whole goddamn house to ourselves, and we're staying there
Mm-hmm.
all goddamn night. And we'll be having more stuff in the future about just how fucked up and haunted this place is. But the
Yep.
point is, we're going to be breaking grounds, not just in the fact that the house has never been publicly investigated, we will be the first, but also in the fact of how we're approaching the investigation. So, our idea, our plan, if you will, is to bring the folks, sitting at home, just listening, what have you. We want to bring them into the investigation. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to set up cameras all over the freaking house, along with microphones all over the freaking house. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
have individual cameras with each one of us. So it'll be Christian. So it'll be Kristen, Damien, Joey, and myself. We'll all have, cameras with us, but then there'll also be stationary cameras around the house. Now, this is important because 99.99% of the time when you watch investigation shows on TV like Ghost Hunters and stuff like that, they're like, after careful review of the evidence. And it's like 19 weeks after the investigation, they found out that there was
Yep.
activity in another room that the team wasn't even in at the time. You're going to be able to see that. Furthermore, and especially when it comes to spirits and ghosts and all that hubaloo, you're going to be able to hear better than we are because you're going to actually be able to listen through the microphones. We're not going to be able to listen through mics while the investigation's going on.
Yep.
Those are two key components of paranormal investigations that frankly only come to light, like the activity only comes to light after hours of grueling editing and listening and checking of every single camera and all the audio. You're going to be able to hear it live and you're going to be able to tell us, hey, you need to get the fuck up to the second floor bathroom or you need to go do this because there's shit going on there right now. Furthermore,
Mm-hmm.
that's the access that you're going to be getting at $5. You'll be getting access to the private live stream, which is quite literally going to be a night long event. So don't tell me you're too busy or something. Eventually you're going to be laying down in bed, and what better time to watch a super haunted, creepy ass paranormal live stream and Joey, Kristen, and I and Debo's just running around like some kind of fucked up version of Scooby Doo in this haunted house in
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky, right?
Yep.
It's going to be going on all night long, and so yeah, so for $25, you get the ability to actually direct us, to tell us where to go, the questions to ask spirits during the different types of investigation techniques that we're engaging in, the equipment that we use, who goes to what room. Like literally, treat us like The Sims. We are asking you to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's for $25, cheap as hell, right? I guess the best way I could say to put it is don't view it as a donation, view it as a ticket, right?
Yep.
However close you get us to this investigation, because we're broke bitches, however close you get us to this investigation, we're going to bring you to this
Mm-hmm.
investigation. So $5, you get in on the private live stream. You're chatting with shit tons of other people that are also all down in the paranormal community and are interested in this. You're getting to
Yep.
chat with them. It's going to be active. You guys are going to be able to ask questions of us during it. $25 and like we're throwing polls at you. You're telling Joey to sleep in the basement, anything that
Mm-hmm.
you want.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really the goal of all this
Yep.
is we don't want it to just be something that you have to sit back and watch. If you want to sit back and watch,
You can do that.
fuck yeah, go ahead. Yeah, 100%. But if you want to be devious, which we here at Black Cat Report strongly encourage, then
Yes.
be fucking devious. But the point is, you get to help make history, right? But
Mm-hmm.
all this shit, all this awesome shit is only going to happen, to be honest, if we can afford to go, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's $750 to rent the house for all of us, right? And we're renting the entire fucking house. Kristen's got to fly in from Washington State, and you know, Damien, Joey, and I, we all have to drive there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we have a goal of $2,500, and that's honestly kind of like barely enough to be able to afford food while we're there, because some of the perks that we have, which you can find if you go to ghost.beer/join, which will be at the top of the show notes. Some of the perks that we have is custom koozies, signed, photographs of the whole crew together. Like,
Cool
we're
stuff.
actually going to be giving out merch and stuff like that too. So that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of part of it. But basically, my plan is to live on hot and readies, and not because I normally do, but because I have to in this situation. So we're not asking for a lot. We know the
He
economy
also
is
normally does.
bullshit right now. We know we're all broke, but hey,
Mm-hmm.
throw in $5. Let's if you can, please throw in $5. Help make some paranormal history and join us for a night of debauchery, investigations, and watching us get the shit scared out of us as we're actively investigating the exact same kind of crap that we cover so confidently here every week. That's about it. So go to ghost.beer/join. Top of the show notes. You'll find it right there. There's a link. Or just go to Google and type in beer, booze, and boogeymen, Indiegogo. There's a bunch of ways to find it. We also have it on social media. But
Yeah.
please, if you could, throw us $5. Let's fucking make some cool shit happen.
Thanks, Gil. I really appreciate you
Mm-hmm.
going through that. Honestly, I don't think I could have gone
Hell
through all
yeah.
of that. It's a lot of info. Ghost.beer/info. Pretty easy. Well,
Nope. We're striking that. It's not /info. I could make a link
that
that's
that was what
ghost.beer/info,
you
but
said there.
I.
Or you
Oh
said for
shit! Did
info.
I?
Yeah, it's
I thought
okay.
it said join.
Oh, you might
Okay,
have said
sorry.
join. I think I said join. No, you're right. You
Let
said
me
join. My
let me
bad. No, you said
let me
join.
get it
You said join.
recorded. No. Let me get this little bit recorded so I don't regret it at 5 o'clock tomorrow when I'm sitting at my like dining
Do
room
it.
table
You got it.
editing the audio, and I'm like, no. Um, so it's really easy. Just go to ghost.beer/join. That's ghost.beer/join. The link will be at the top of the show notes. Super easy to get there. Seriously, for a tank or for a gallon, seriously, for a gallon and a half of gas, right? Depending on which state you live in, you can get us there and we can bring you there. So please, if you can, that'd be fucking awesome. Let's make history.
Thanks for that, Gil. I appreciate it. I don't know how you can do that. So
I
easy.
wrote out 90% of our content over the past 5
Oh,
days.
yeah, that makes sense, right? Well,
Yeah.
now let's get right back into Saint Germain's story. I
Hell
also
yeah.
wanted to give the sources for this episode and the last episode, which is
Mm.
Comte de Saint Germain by Isabel Cooper Oakley, published in 1912, as well as a
Mm.
whole list of websites that are listed in the show notes because I had to look through so many just to get basically
Mm-hmm.
wade through the weeds on this one. Well, when we last left Saint Germain, he had run through a bunch of pop-ins in history. He was arrested as a Jacobite spy and released. He helped King Louis XV with secret peace treaties. He helped put Catherine the Great into power in Russia over Tsar Peter, initiated Cagliostro into the Freemasons, and did a bunch of cool alchemy metal transformations. Then, well, he died. Or, as I said at the end, maybe he didn't. Well, it said in the last part of part 1, according to a Catholic Church death notice, Saint Germain died in 1784. Well, if we want to say if that's the end of the story and his life, I guess we wouldn't have done a second episode on him.
Shortest part 2 ever. All
Yep,
right,
and
y'all.
it's
We
over.
love you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Well, Saint Germain was not exactly done there, Gil. And it's time
Oh.
he makes another pop in back in history 4 years after his death. In 1788, Saint Germain, back from the dead apparently, came striding into the Palace of Versailles. Most people wide eyed looking at him, wondering how this person, who literally had just died 4 years ago, was walking into the palace.
Is
Well,
that a is that a is that a chicken with a vest?
there he is. And our famous character from last episode, Herbert.
Herbert.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Mm.
King Louis XVI had known the Count Saint Germain from the dealings with his father and immediately knew that this was the real deal Saint Germain, even though,
Shit.
obviously, he wondered how this could be. It's almost like you're seeing a ghost.
Yo, that's kind of nuts though, because that means like I mean, like you said so many times in part one, right? About how much of an impact he made on literally everybody, from paupers and poor folks to like the highest in aristocracy and royalty and stuff like that. That there was nobody that was untouched by the charm of his like genuine kind of
Yeah.
well-being and like nature. So
Mm-hmm.
that means that this king kind of like grew up hearing about Saint Germain, and like
Mm-hmm.
this isn't a world where he's being trained in like royalty and the importance of this person and the dynamics of
Yeah.
this country and all the politics and all the bullshit. But in between all of that was his dad, the king, yelling at his mom for the potential affair that she had with Herbert the whole fucking time.
Oh,
And so
God.
he grew
All
up
day.
hearing.
Yeah.
No, but he did like to be able to recognize him as genuine,
Yep.
really does mean that he was schooled in
Mm-hmm.
Saint Germain.
Yep.
That's
Had to have met
that's
him.
fucking nuts, dude.
Yep.
Like this dude
Well-
is quite literally a walking legend.
Yes, he is a literally walking legend. Well, Saint Germain wasn't just coming to them with good tidings, it was a warning that he brought. This
Oh,
is
shit.
how their conversation went. Saint Germain. And it is in the gravity of the circumstances that I find this boldness. I have not come with the intention of paying a homage to the queen, of which she must be weary, but indeed to point out to her the dangers which threaten her crown, if prompt measures are not taken to avert them. You are positive, monsieur? I am deeply grieved to displease your majesty, but I can only speak the truth. Monsieur, the true, perhaps, may sometimes not be the probable.
Can you read that from the top for me,
Yeah.
please? Thank you. There's a couple of
Saint
words
Germain.
that'll be hard for me to splice together.
Yeah. Saint Germain. And it is in the gravity of the circumstances that I find this boldness. I have not come with the intention of paying homage to the queen, of which she must be weary, but indeed to point out to her the dangers which threaten her crown, if prompt measures are not taken to avert them. Marie Antoinette. You are positive, monsieur? Saint Germain. I am deeply aggrieved to displease your majesty, but I can only speak the truth. Marie Antoinette. Monsieur, the true, perhaps, may sometimes not be the probable. Saint Germain. I admit, madame, that this is the case in point, but your majesty will permit me in my turn to remind you that Cassandra foretold the ruin of Troy, and that they refused to believe it. I am Cassandra. France is the kingdom of Priam. Some years will yet pass by in a deceitful calm. Then from all parts of this kingdom will up men greedy for vengeance, for power, and for money. They will overthrow all in their way. The seditious populace and some great members of the state will lend them support. A spirit of delirium will take possession of the citizens. Civil war will burst out with all its horrors. It will bring its train murder, pillage, exile. Then it will be regretted that I was not listened to. Perhaps I shall be asked for again. But the time will be past. The storm will have swept all before it. Isn't that right, Herbert? Damn straight. Well, Saint
No,
Germain was warning
wait.
Marie Antoinette.
Okay. Are you about to explain what the fuck all that meant? Because that was like
That's a lot of
I
rambling.
don't know what the yeah no, but it
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
lot of okay good. I was
Oh,
like
it's old
I
old style speak.
understood. Yeah, and like I'm young.
Yeah,
but no, I understood the last part where he's like, "Bitch, if you don't listen,
yeah.
you gonna wish you did." But all the other shit leading up to it, I was just like, "Bah?" you know.
He's just literally Saint Germain was warning Marie Antoinette that the time of reckoning
Mm-hmm.
was coming. He's basically
Mm,
saying, "Look, all people view you in this way." And I
mm,
know you don't think people view you in this way, but I see it.
mm.
All these people see how other people look at you. The populace, the small folk, if we can take a House of the Dragon quote of what
We
they called
can,
people and medieval.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
They call it like they're small folk. They don't care what they think for the most part because they're like, hey, I'm just gonna
Mm.
do what I do anyways. By God, by God, I was given this
Bug off,
queendom. I
bug
was given
off.
this royalty. So
Mm-hmm.
what are they gonna do?
So
What does it matter what they do?
basically, so basically she's like so fucking she's delusional. She's detached from the actual
Mm-hmm.
population she's supposed to be representing and like leading and making decisions for and all this shit like that.
Yep.
And he's just kind of like, "Hey, it's normal for royalty to be somewhat delusional, but like uh you're kind of at risk of losing your head."
Yeah.
And then they like fist bumped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they both knew what was coming, and they both, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Herbert knew exactly. Well, it's here that I want to add in that from the first episode. Remember Antonio Cagliostro, who Saint Germain had initiated and mentored into the Freemasons. Well,
mm,
his part in this,
yeah.
as I said in the first episode, was a thing called the Affair of the Diamond Necklace. Was pretty
Yes.
much the
Yeah.
nail in the coffin for Marie Antoinette's reputation with the people.
Mm,
And I had
that's what
talked offline to Gil
dropped the
about it.
axe. Yeah.
Yeah, but I talked to Gil about it offline. And I didn't really want to get into it all the way, but I can kind of give you a brief summary real quick so you understand.
He
Um,
basically emotionally prepared me for, I'm going to have to get into it. And I was like, I am emotionally unstable. And he was like, perfect.
Perfect. That's where I want us to be. Well, King Louis the 15th, which was Louis the 16th, who we're talking about now, father had
Hmm.
a mistress and he loved her, so he created this necklace. This necklace
Yeah.
in today's money was worth $17 million. So
17. So
$1 million.
like the same. So like this necklace, if you remove some decimals, it
Mhm.
was the number that Drake and Leo just stopped looking at young women. It was that
Yes.
much.
Yes, that much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And
That joke
before he
made no
could
sense.
receive before he could
Well, it did,
receive
but
the
it's like,
diamond necklace. Yeah.
hmm
Well, before he could receive the diamond necklace, King Louis XV, to give to his mistress, he died
hmm
of smallpox. And,
mm,
check a guess
small
where that came
pecs.
from. Yeah, smallpox. um and so nobody knew about it.
mm.
So then, except for a few people that were in the French
Jewelry
aristocracy at
industry.
this time,
Oh,
yeah, jewelry industry
gotcha.
too. So
Yeah.
the Cardinal de Rohan, who was
hmm
doesn't say he was a cardinal, he was just a French ambassador. So I
Yeah.
don't know why he
He
would be
was
the
literally a
cardinal
cardinal.
of Rohan. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a title. It
Yes.
was
Yeah.
quite literally
Literally.
a genus.
Yeah,
Like-
Herbert got him there. So yeah. Well, he got him there. So he forged a note, supposedly. This is the biggest thing. He forged
Mm.
a note that said the queen wants this jewelry, right? The queen wants the
I can't
jewelry.
read this. It's all in Sanskrit. Who wrote this?
The queen wanted the jewelry and that they should continue making it. And so they finished making it.
Mm.
They sent the jewelry there to the cardinal or to the queen. The queen was like, I didn't order this. And they found out that the note to get this was forged, right? So, and this was Queen Marie Antoinette that found note was forged. So
Yeah.
they went to trial and they threw Cagliostro in jail. They
Mm-hmm.
threw the Cardinal de Rohan in jail, and they gave them a trial.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all found not guilty. So, because they were found not guilty,
Free as a
everybody
bird.
thought that Marie Antoinette was the blame. Like, she just basically threw them under the bus so that she could actually get this piece of jewelry.
Oh,
And it
so
made her
basically,
look so bad.
so like, yeah, she was like kind of already at the edge of the flat Earth, and this like
Hmm.
really just pushed her over the ice wall,
Yeah.
like
It was a
just
little.
into whatever.
Yeah.
But so they were like, "Oh, you tried to frame these other higher ups because that would get everybody's attention, but in
Yep.
actuality, you were trying to cover up your own misdeeds and your own fucking embezzlement on shit. That's it, motherfucker. We've had enough." And she's like,
Hmm.
"Dude, this is a diamond necklace for the person that my husband was cheating on me with. Why the fuck would I order this?" And they're like, "Yeah, all right. Tell it to the basket." Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
basically. Uh-huh. Well, funny enough, Saint Germain had predicted this to the T. Marie Antoinette
Mm,
was, as most people know, beheaded in October 1793, about 5 years
hell
after
yeah.
Saint Germain's warning. So
It's one of my
that
favorite
pretty much,
beheadings.
yeah, exactly. Which, to be fair, he literally told her all would come to pass. There was murder, pillage, exile, and the death of the Bourbon monarchy. Pretty much the end of
Mm-hmm.
it. And so
That's true.
nobody listened to him. They didn't listen.
Yeah.
Well,
It was a horrible
guilt.
day too, because like part of the process of like her getting led up to the guillotine, right? The very
Mm-hmm.
public execution, very well attended
Yeah.
event. Part of the process for that whole thing was it was just tens of thousands of people throwing eggs, and Herbert was just in the background, just bawling his little chicken eyes out the whole fucking time. Saint Germain was trying to comfort him. We'll have some Tuscan chicken later. It was just a joke. I thought it would make you laugh. And I know you're trying to form a small army, Colonel. It's okay, Colonel Sanders. We'll get through this. It was sad, dude. It was a really heavy moment.
Poor boy, poor bud, poor Herbert. He
Yeah.
just. Well, God, I do want to ask you a question. Is your finger ready?
Yeah.
Do you have the sound effects button ready?
It depends.
You
Oh,
know what it's
yeah.
for.
Sorry.
Can you guess
Sorry,
what time it is?
I've been single for a few months. I haven't had anybody ask me if my finger's ready.
Okay.
In
Well, is your finger ready
a, f-
for this?
a few
Is
months.
do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is?
Lounge jungle music time?
Close.
Hold on a
I
second.
think you know. I think you know.
I think I know. Are you trying to tell me it's I don't know why I said it's. Are you trying to tell me it's time travel time, baby?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. It's time travel time, baby, because now we're going to warp back a few years to get back just right after he died. Just a year after his death. We're going to jump into
What?
1785. Saint
So
Germain
we're
is
going
supposedly
backwards?
dead. We're going backwards.
Holy shit. Holy
But
shit.
ends up being chosen as the representative for the Freemasons Convention in Germany. He's dead for a year.
That's going to
so it
be
doesn't
awkward.
matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it is there that he meets Thomas Mesmer, if you know who Thomas Mesmer is.
That name is incredibly familiar. I can't recall.
Well, from all accounts, Saint Germain is the one who gave Thomas Mesmer the idea for hypnotism and personal magnetism.
Is he known for that or something?
Yes, he was the one that created it.
Can he?
Actually,
to
give me 1 second because that's not actually his name.
Cool. If you could reread that, I don't know if it got picked up in the recording, but there was like a weird screeching noise that came through on the
I didn't
audio.
hear it. Yeah.
I know, but if you could reread it, just in case, I'm sitting
Well,
there tomorrow, like, how do I make our listeners, ears not bleed, but like, not on purpose this time,
perfect.
Perfect.
Well, and now we're going to warp back a few years to get back just right after he died, just a year after his death. We are going to jump into 1785. Saint Germain is supposedly
good year.
dead, but ends up being chosen as the representative for the Freemasons convention in Germany after he's dead.
You know who we should send? Who should we send? You know who we should send? Who should we send? The only man who has more riz than he does life. Do you mean, yes, Herbert and his friend Saint Germain? God damn it! Are they even taking requests anymore? I heard they were still in mourning. Nah. I know a guy. He deals in diamonds.
Well, more Riz. The Riz-tastic. Saint Germain. Well, it is there at this Freemasons convention that he meets Franz Mesmer, or Anton Mesmer. And from all accounts, Saint Germain is the one who gave Mesmer the idea for hypnotism and personal magnetism, or animal magnetism, if you wanna call it that.
Is this where the word mesmerize comes from?
It is.
Holy fucking shit, man!
Yes.
I
Yep.
had no clue. That's kind of awesome. Look at that. Y'all
It is.
y'all are already learning something. It's like what, 15, 20 minutes in to the episode, you guys are learning. We're allowed to be categorized as educational. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. Well, if Saint Germain teaching Franz Mesmer the ideas for hypnotism and personal/animal magnetism is true, then Saint Germain was the indirect inventor of the placebo effect. This is a crazy connection, right? Okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is so crazy to talk about, because
so his pills were as real as his diamonds. It was like, here's some diamonds, cubic zirconia. Here's some pills, sugar.
well, this is the connection that I'm going to bring to you, right? So, because King Louis XVI, he didn't really think that Franz Mesmer was real. Like, the hypnotism and magnetism was real. So,
Franz Mesmer's not real. He can't hurt you. Meanwhile, he's in the corner with like little swirly gig eyes, just like waving a pocket watch, and he's like,
yeah. You're mesmerized. He does it.
The chicken's telling me I'm getting sleepy.
God. Herbert, he's everywhere. Well,
goddamn Herbert.
Because King Louis XVI had his doctors look into Mesmer to see if his theories were correct, and in doing so, the doctors blindfolded half of the patients and then let the other half of them see. Because the idea behind his theories, it's so weird. The idea behind his theories is that you can heal somebody and heal like psychosis through like touching them in the chest, and it's like there's some weird Reiki stuff with it too, I think.
Reiki, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And it's like part of it is that, and so they found that if the people that were blindfolded, it didn't work, but the people that could see, part of it worked. So this is the literal placebo effect that they found, and then they started using that. So this is why he's the indirect creator of it.
I really hope that it was just like, okay, now, Harold, I have an idea in order to prove whether or not he's a real... Okay, now, Harold, I have an idea to prove whether or not he's a real hypnotist. What I'm going to need you to do is to lead the world's first double-blind study. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a blindfold onto the subject, and you are going to walk into the room also blindfolded. And then what we're going to do is we're going to see if he can hypnotize them while they are both blindfolded. You and them and me and my sister and my cousin-in-law, who, just became an adult, by the way. But that's a different story. The point is...
Double blind.
The point is, Harold, I'm going to need you to do this and prove to me that he's not real. I don't care if you're afraid of the dog, Harold. I need you to do this for me. Yes, I'll build you the coop. God damn.
Oh no, we're back in Russia. Oh my God, it happened again in France. The coup. The coup happened again in France. No, people, I told you not a coup, a coop. Chicken coop.
Most of the time, I mean,
Oh. Whoops. You
you
want some cake?
really need to enunciate. I gotta tell you that. I mean, we all love your accent. Don't we love his accent? Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, dude, sexy. Yeah, we love it. But I'm just going to say, sometimes you're a little bit soft on the lettering, if you know what I mean. Shut up. Herbert, don't agree with them. You know I can't tell the difference between an R and an S in Sanskrit. Yes, I've been studying. God damn it, everybody's on my case this week.
Love it. Whoa.
You know they had bad times. Like, you know that at some point, like,
They
I
argued.
look,
They
I
had to argue. Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
You're right. They had to argue.
Oh dear
Yes.
Lord, like Kyuchi and his friend at the gas station, but it's just like
Mhm.
it's just Herbert and Saint Germain just walking down some fucking like fanciful country road in Europe. Yes, that's what I told her. Well, I mean, I tried to connect with her, but it just seems like she wasn't very interested in me. God damn it. Why do I? Sometimes, Herbert, it just kind of feels like, why do I even have a thought in my mind when I have a friend like you to guide me? Just takes his little wing, pats it on the back of his
Pats
leg.
on the
He's
back.
like, "Thank you, Herbert. Thank you, Herbert. Do you
Mean.
you want to go to Denny's?" Yes, let's go to Denny's.
Meanwhile, he's got the jewel, the $17 million jewel. Herbert's got the $17 million jewel in his back.
Herbert's just
Yeah, he's
wearing
wearing it.
just so much fucking bling.
Yeah.
Just
Hey, I
giving
mean, Saint Germain
solid
was wearing
advice
it.
to his friend.
Yeah. Saint Germain was wearing all the bling. Herbert's got to be. He's got to keep up. You know.
I'm just saying, like, we all know Herbert's a bit of a pimp.
Mm-hmm. Herbert is packing.
Mhm.
Well,
Herbert's like
again.
a self-contained pimp. Like, it's like he's just out here making hoes and keeping them in line, but or
Mhm.
I should say, he's just out here making hens and keeping them in line, but he's getting paid and he's getting laid, right? At the same time. He's the John and the pimp. Brilliant.
And isn't that all you
Honestly.
can do sometimes?
I'm pretty sure I heard Motley Crue said that their inspiration for how they partied was Herbert Sanders.
Hey,
Mm.
no truer words have been spoken. Well, it's again time to do a little fast forward in years. We're going to jump.
Wait a
to-
second. Does that mean
Do it. Do it.
it's hold on a
travel time, baby.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We are going to jump to 1914. Saint Germain is in the trenches on the front line of war fighting for the French.
Jesus
He is
Christ.
captured.
That accelerated really fast.
Yes. He is captured by two Bavarian or German soldiers, Bavarian German. As they're
I don't
checking
want to
him for
eat your
weapons.
pretzels. He can't have salt. I told you he has high blood pressure.
Oh, is that beer cheese? I'll take that though. You can get some beer cheese. Well, as they are checking him for weapons to make sure he isn't going to pull a gun or a knife out and kill them, they start asking him questions to ascertain where he is from and who he is. And obviously, Saint Germain does not answer who he is or where he is from. And
Saint
though
Germain
clearly
doesn't
he's
talk
wearing
to
a
the
French army
police.
uniform. No,
Yeah.
no. Hey, you know what?
Also-
no, hell no. Herbert's
best
like
part-
nudging him, like, don't ever say a word.
He's just like, yes, I know you have it up your ass right now. I didn't tell him that. Why are you bringing that up? Well, I know you don't have a sphincter. That's not the point. I'm sorry to bring it up publicly. I know you're sensitive about that. But seriously though, like at this point in time, being born in 1660 or 1760, I don't remember. Anyways,
Where he was born? When he
hundreds-
was born?
Yeah,
1660, 70, 80, around that
16.
time.
Yeah, hundreds of years earlier. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if he did at that point in being a mortal time traveler with a chicken sidekick, right? Or
Yep.
the sidekick of an immortal time traveling chicken. Um,
That makes more sense.
if he just if he just told the truth, nobody would believe him. Like he can live an honest
They'd
life and just
laugh.
be like, he could just be like, yes, I was born in 1660, and they're just be like, what the fuck? Yeah. So, have you heard of oh shit, what was her name? Catherine the Great. Yeah, I heard about. Well, she was, to be quite honest, slightly above mediocre. She really had a hard time listening to advice and just never hire her to build a coop. But anyways, it would have been a weird interrogation if he was just honest the whole time. He had to lie.
Well, you know, and sometimes that can be real life's lessons. Sometimes
Mm,
you just have to lie.
you
So
just gotta lie,
you
baby.
just gotta lie. That is a quote from Herbert. Well,
Mm.
as they're interrogating him, right? He just starts speaking in different languages randomly. Well, as they interrogate him, Saint
Is that
Germain just starts
Sanskrit?
to.
It's not gonna be found for like another 10 or 20 years. Wait, is the chicken speaking Sanskrit too? They're practicing it on the ground. Scratch, 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 scratch. Yes, I get it. That's an R. I know what it looks like when I see it. I just can't remember. This is not the time for a lesson, Herbie.
He is now in Herbie Hancock mode. Doom. Back, 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 back. Well, Saint Germain, as I was saying, he starts to speak in different languages randomly, and then he finally settled in on German, Bavarian, interchangeable, to speak to the
Yeah.
soldiers because that's what they spoke. Even though
Mm.
he was randomly talking about things, they just were just like, whatever, they let him continue because, well,
Mm-hmm.
he spoke their native language and it intrigued the two soldiers.
Yeah.
Everything seemed random until Saint Germain started talking about the war. I want to quote what he
Mm.
said to these two soldiers because if I were them, I would listen too.
Ooh.
This war will end in 1918. After the confetti money will come the Antichrist, a tyrant from the lower classes who will wear an ancient symbol. He will lead Germany into another global war in 1939, but will be defeated 6 years on. He will lead Germany into another global war in 1939, but will be defeated 6 years on after doing inhuman, unspeakable things. Then, Saint Germain started to sing, and then he started weeping.
Man,
That's scary.
I feel like at this point in time he was in his like 80s goth era. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn. I don't even know what song that would be. Love, love will tear us apart again. Love, love will tear us apart.
Yeah.
And they're just like, and you try to tell, and you try to tell them. Damn.
What's that one song? The Smiths. The Smiths. They're one of their
I'm
hit
miserable.
songs. No,
Literally any
please,
Smith
please
song. I
let
should
it's please let me uh let me get what I
let me love
want.
you.
No, please,
Lord
please, please,
knows it
please
would be the
let me
first
get
time.
what I
I would.
want this time.
That was too much swing. That was too much swing.
True. Yeah, it's got to be
Too much
sadder.
swing with it. You got to be. I was looking for a job and then I found a job. And heaven knows I'm miserable now
Yeah.
in my life. Oh, why do I give valuable time to people who don't care if I live or die? That's also the great this is the same song where it's like, there is a night and it never goes out. Do, do, do. There is a light and it never goes out. Do, do. And then God, there's so many. Why didn't I think of the Smiths? And it's just um I'm just hoping that you get in a car accident that night. Just, literally any Smiths song, or any time that Morrissey is at a concert with hot dogs. You want to see shit go bad. You want to see World War III happen. Accidentally have some meat being sold at a Morrissey concert. I mean, there was like a 10-1 chance he wasn't going to show up anyways, but that guarantees that he won't fucking be there. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Anyways,
Well,
love you, Morrissey, even though you hate me and you're a sad man who just spent decades singing about being depressed because he's asexual. Nothing wrong with being asexual, just that was kind of a twist for a lot of people.
yeah.
Shout out
This was
Morrissey.
definitely this was definitely his Smiths era. Well, after hearing Saint Germain say this, the two Bavarian soldiers just let him go. I mean, to be fair, if I heard something so specific and then something that maybe is likely to happen, I would just be like, yeah, I don't want to know anymore. Just go. Just please go. We're about to die anyway, so.
Actually, they were just like, hold on, a message is coming through. We just got orders to leave immediately. Oh, apparently we're supposed to leave the prisoners here. We have to go. Okay, we're leaving. And they just like ran off into the distance, and he just looked over. He's like, good job, Herbie. Herbie's just screaming into a dead soldier's helmet so it echoes back. And it's like, yes, it does work every time. It's always good. That's what I pictured
every time
happening.
Oh, well, yeah. That's what he's... his prediction obviously hit the nail right on the head, just like telling Marie Antoinette about her downfall. But I do want to ask this question. What was Saint Germain's end goal in this, right?
That's true.
What was his end goal? What he's telling these two people that honestly, if they're just Bavarian soldiers, what does he expect them to do? You know, like is he just kind of giving up? Like that's kind of how I see it. Is like he's kind of giving up.
Yeah,
like Kyuchi didn't give up. Kyuchi went for a better future. No. He's actually he's making it happen. But it seems like Saint Germain just went, eh.
Yeah, that is a really good question, because that's the thing is like, if he is aware of the future, right? Mm-hmm. Saint Germain, if he's aware of the future, he knows just one of the most like chaos-ridden, dangerous places on the planet at that time is anywhere near where warfare is anywhere that warfare is taking place during World War I. Like classic fucking trench warfare.
The battlefields of France, yes.
Homie, you can't even like that's this thing, like it's bad luck to light the to light 3 cigarettes off for the same match. Like I don't know if anybody else knows that. That's a new thing to worry about, but that came from the fact that the amount of time that it took for a sniper to like zero in on you was about the amount of time that it took to light 3 cigarettes with one match. So you could only light 2, right? Like this is one of the most horrible places on the fucking planet, right?
Yeah.
And he's just there just being like, yep, I'm just a regular fucking soldier. Fuck it, I don't care anymore. Like I feel like he's just like living off of spite at this point. Yeah. Like honestly.
I just thinking about this too. True. I'm just thinking about this too, and it kind of just popped into my head. Maybe he can't control where he ends up.
Oh.
Because the way I see it, like the way I see it is like, who would jump right into that moment and in that spot? You know, because like if somebody knew that was going to happen, obviously a time travel is going to be like, no, I'm not jumping into there. I'll jump into like 1919 after the war's over, and they've kind of demilitarized that zone. So maybe he just can't control it, and maybe that's something that he just he remembers all this happening. This is why I kind of go back to it. His eidetic memory is that he knew all this is going to happen, and he maybe just ended up there. and was like, okay, well,
Mm.
I got to try to say something to get out of this, and to like, so they just don't try to kill me. And then they're looking at me like they can't kill me, or I get captured and I'm just literally sitting in a spot where I can't get out, you know? Maybe it was his way. He was like, okay, if I say this, I'm going to be able to get away.
That kind of tracks because I think this is just a theory on top of your very well founded theory, right? So, like,
Hmm.
at this point,
Just now.
wait, we are sitting at the top of a Jenga tower, right? Like,
Yes. Yeah.
but maybe, all right. So, you know how with Tsuruhiko Kyuchi, like,
Hmm.
in the middle of thinking about going somewhere, he was there. Like literally,
Yeah.
it was there like over and over, and that was something that I had translated from his interviews and from all his texts and stuff. Was that there was no
Hmm.
transition, right? Which is why so many times I
Yeah.
tried to just in the middle of a fucking sentence continue into the next, whatever. Um, it- it's a very hard thing to describe. Well, with the way that Saint Germain um just started blabbering, right? And
Hmm.
first off, this is a little bit questionable. Why did he have to guess languages when they other soldiers were likely in uniform,
Yeah.
right? Because he
Yeah.
should have known that. I mean, somebody that's literally historically known as being so goddamn well cultured around everything
Yeah.
should know those are Bavarian soldiers. 100%. He should
Hmm.
know that
Yeah.
immediately. And maybe not. Maybe they were all covered in mud. I don't know. But I'm just saying.
True. Yeah.
Um, but I'm sure at the point of them pointing guns at him and shit like that, and by the time he started talking, he heard them speak, and if you know a language, you're like, oh, that's that language.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's questionable. So he's a little bit off his game already. But he starts blabbering, right? Just like telling them the future and all this shit after guessing
Yep.
4, 5, 6 languages. And then he starts singing and crying. So connect that back to the fact that Kyuchi realized that if you just think it, you're there, right?
Hmm.
And you got to be careful with that. And then the way he was acting, I think Count Saint Germain was absolutely shit faced hammered and ended
Could
up
be.
in World
Could
War
be.
One. Like that sounds like something you would do at a bar. And you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Like
Let's
you
do
know,
it. I'm gonna tell you everything.
your
Yeah.
your ex-wife. Let me tell you, she was an ex a lot longer than you knew she was. All right, so she was hooking up with this dude over there, and
Bruh.
owner of a lonely heart, touch better
This is my song.
than
This is my
owner
song.
of a lonely heart. Oh, yeah, get it, boom. And they're just like, we're just. That also explains the fact why the soldiers are like, yeah, we're just gonna. They're fighting their own wars right now. We're just
Yeah,
gonna
they
leave them.
got battles we don't know anything about. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
they're
a
fighting
different
their own battle.
Yeah.
Oof.
Godspeed.
You know what? I always said never kick them when they're down, but like, what do you do when they live down there? I can't do this. Anyways, you want to go get pretzel?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go get pretzel. So.
And do you get the bitches?
Anyways.
Yes, bitches.
We'll go to my auntie's house. Anne? Yes, Auntie Anne. Why does he keep talking about Colonel Sanders? I don't get it. Anyways.
You just wait. One day there'll be a potato bowl, mashed potato bowl. Well,
I heard the Russians are working on something.
well, honestly, I also think that maybe he just kind of figured that no matter what he did, it wouldn't stop it.
Yeah, I would feel that way
So,
too after like countless
yeah,
kings and queens and royalty and shit just straight up. It's like you were the nicest, most trustworthy person you could possibly be to the point that you worked your way up repeatedly into the highest
mhm,
levels of leadership and authority and you know proved your worth and made
yeah,
a point to never back down on it.
hmm.
Um and motherfucker still wouldn't listen to you.
And she, in effect, just laughed him out of the room, which is just kind of
Mm,
after he dropped those bombs on her, she just kind of was like,
mm,
"Nah," laughed him out of the room. Well,
mm.
Gil, you want to get your finger ready because we are going
Oh,
to
wait.
do another one.
Yeah.
We're going to do another one.
Yes.
You ready? Okay,
Man, I'm gonna be ready for my date on Friday. This.
perfect. Good.
Are you gonna lead up to it, or is it we're just gonna keep the anticipation going? Again, I'm getting
Well,
ready for the
again,
date.
Gil, we are going to time travel
Wait a goddamn second, Joey. Are you telling me it's time travel time, baby?
Hell yeah.
Woo! I didn't have that
Hell
live,
yeah.
did I? Did I have that live?
I don't know.
Okay.
I heard it.
Wait a goddamn second, Joey. Are you trying to tell me eventually, through the time traveling powers of audio editing, that. Oh, son of a bitch. Hold on one second. It's time travel time, baby.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
No,
It is
nope,
Gil.
nope. That's not it. That's not it. What the fuck, dude? Audio.
Technical difficulties.
Work, I tell you. It's not working, baby. Hell no. Woo! Why is
It's
this not time travel time, baby?
Hell yeah.
Woo!
It's
And that time travel time, baby.
Hell yeah.
It's now gonna repeat because I clicked it so many fucking times. Hey, future Gil. You've probably just spent 35, 45 minutes even, thinking about how you're hungry, but you're still editing and getting really pissed because you already know what future you is going to say or past you that you're hearing in the future. Look, it's time travel month. No rules apply. Point is, you should have listened ahead and not just edited down to the goddamn millisecond trying to make every single word work as you slowly, methodically moved through, just ignoring life, obligations, nutrition, things of that nature. Go drink some water, just a small cup, not a lot, and smoke a cigarette. Text Joey, let him know that you made it this far into the episode. He'll be like, "Cool, dude. Thank you so much for doing that. You're doing great. Do you think it'll be out tonight?" And I'll be like, "Hell yeah." Okay, let's go. I needed to have a. I needed. It's important to talk
heart
to
to heart.
yourself, you know,
Heart
have
to
a
heart,
moment with
for
yourself.
sure.
Yeah, you know, heart in heart.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, we are going to time travel. This time going all the way back to 1821, where a journalist named Albert Van Dam.
Yes. Yes.
Met Saint Germain in his travels.
And he taught him how to do the splits, a tradition and a skill that he passed on to all of his grandchildren, including
Yes.
one named Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Correct.
God damn it.
Yeah, this is low-hanging fruit at this point, but I love it.
This is how you do the splits between two semis while they're driving down the highway.
He actually did that. Truth.
Yeah, I believe it.
Stuntman. Yeah, man. Well,
no, I've seen him trying to make a career recovery where he's wanted to have fights with people who are actively professional fighters, and if you want to feel old, go look up some videos of Jean-Claude Van Damme. Just anything. You don't even have to look him up, look up him fighting. Just look at some updated photos of the VD. You know what I'm saying? The JVD.
way to recover that.
The JCVD.
The VD. The JCVD. Well,
the JCVD.
Albert Van Dam said that Saint Germain went by another name. This name was Major Frazier, which also sounds like a fucking wrestling name. Major Frazier.
Yes!
He's changing it up. Yeah, he's got Colonel Sanders right next to. Oh my god, it makes so much sense. Major Frazier and Colonel Sanders.
What would be a
makes sense.
No, it does, but like if we're gonna do this, if we're gonna go there, Herbert needs a wrestling name. I was gonna say the Undertaker. I kind of get Undertaker vibes, but I'm also kind of getting Generation X. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting a couple. Who would he be?
I don't know.
No, no,
Kane.
we need. No, that's the Undertaker. Kane the Undertaker,
No,
isn't it?
Kane is
No, no,
not the
no.
Undertaker.
Kane had the
Kane
all
is
fucked up.
Kane is the tag team
Yeah,
with the Undertaker,
yeah,
which
that's right.
makes
That's
it
right. He had the fucked up
so.
red leather strip mask and shit.
Yeah,
Who would it be? I feel like
I don't know.
Stone Caw, Steve. No, it doesn't work.
hmm The
Bret the
cock.
Hitman Hart.
The
Brock.
cock.
No, 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 no.
No.
Brock the Hitman Hart.
Oh, that too. Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's a good one.
Well,
No, they're sorry, dude. This needs to happen. All right, because
okay.
now they're a wrestling tag team, Joey. Look, for
Yes.
creativity's sake, I know you're trying to
hmm
get through a script, but our audience
We have
is
to
trying to
stop.
get
They need to
through
know. They need
a
to know.
scenario. Yes, and we
Yeah,
need to.
and they
We're
can.
tag teaming this shit.
Yeah. Well, who's Saint
Mm.
Germain? Is Saint Germain the Undertaker? Yeah, I guess he would have to
Well,
be the
I mean, we could
Undertaker.
find it. Do you hold on one second? This is where it'll be good later. Just
hmm
give me just a tick, which shouldn't be a big deal in time traveling. 90s.
Edge and Chicken, like Edge and Christian. Yeah,
There's gonna
no,
be one that's like buck in.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just like too perfect. Uh, let's see. Top 50 professional wrestlers in the 90s. That's what needs to happen right here. That's what we're gonna get. Bill Goldberg. So we could Bill Goldbeak, obviously.
hmm
Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Brock Hart.
Yeah.
Jesus, this
Well,
ad is
he was also called the
massive.
Heartbreak Kid too.
Herbert?
No, the Bret
Oh.
Michaels was called the Heartbreak Kid.
Okay, so I'm leaning towards Hulk Hogan or Randy Savage. We need a name
Herbert
for
was
Hulk
Randy. Herb was Randy Savage. Herb was Randy Savage for sure.
Dwayne the Brock Johnson.
Yes, Dwayne the Brock Johnson.
Oh my God! Hold on. We're gonna find it. God, they're really getting obscure with this list. Jay
Mhm.
Fresno. He was there for like a week. Rick Rude. Um.
There's Gold
Oh
Dust.
shit. Eddie Gilbert. Hello,
that
that's
is.
my name. Get away. I don't know, but he's fucking totally like squatting on my name, and I don't appreciate it.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's between Dwayne the Brock Johnson,
That's.
Beak Foley. No, that's not as funny. Dwayne the Brock Johnson,
That's the one. He's Saint
Herbert
Germain.
Savage, Randy Savage. Ooh,
There is a major something in
Is
wrestling. Yeah, Major Laser, something like that.
there was the movie Major Pain.
Yeah.
He was Major Mick Foley. No, I'm thinking. Oh, damn, it's so hard. I was like really from the time I was like 4 until I was like 8. It's like a solid 4 years, which at that point was literally half of my life. I'm super into WWF, WW,
Me
all
too.
that
WWE.
fun shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always, man. I was always watching USA on like Saturday nights and shit when they were playing that. Okay, so Dwayne the Brock Johnson
Mm-hmm.
and okay. I could see Saint Germain going undercover as Randy Savage because Randy Savage always wore sunglasses and a giant hat. Like he was like, I mean, he definitely wasn't just hiding the massive amount of cocaine that I'm assuming he did. He was hiding the fact he
No.
was Saint Germain. You know,
True.
it's kind of where I'm at.
Okay.
I forgot where we're at in the episode.
Oh, okay. I know. I got it. Well, Van Damme wrote in his memoir that, quote, he called himself Major Frazier, lived alone, and never alluded to his family. Moreover, he was lavish with money, though the source of his fortune remained a mystery to everyone. He possessed a marvelous knowledge of all the countries in Europe at all periods. His memory was absolutely incredible, and curiously enough, he often gave his hearers to understand that he had acquired his learning elsewhere than from books. Many is the
Mm.
time he has told me with a strange smile, does that sound familiar? That he was certain he had known Nero, had spoken with Dante, and
Whoa.
so on.
Whoa.
And without a warning nor a word, Major Fraser disappeared without a trace. He just packed up and left. And nobody knew what happened to him again. This really does sound like Saint Germain, honestly. Just the sly smile and being like, I'm knowing all this stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Dante's Inferno. Mediocre. I'm saying it was mild. It was mild. It was like a mild spicy. Look, I've been to India. All right, Dante's Inferno. It was like a little bit too much salt. Everybody's freaking out.
Pretty much, yeah. Hey, ain't no Colonel Sanders. Ain't no KFC. Hey Gil, do you know what time it is? Are you hip to the time that we're about to go into?
I don't.
Oh,
I have a feeling what you're trying to lead me towards is the fact that
it's
loading
not
slow.
working.
What the
It's
literal
Time
fuck?
travel time, baby.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So we are going to time travel again to 1896 and meet up with Madame Blavatsky. Madame Blavatsky, who created the Theosophical. That is literally how you say that.
Theosophical? No, theosophical.
Yeah, you're right.
No. It's
You're right. You're right.
theosophical.
Theosophical. Yeah.
Or
theosophical, right.
theosophy, theosophical.
Yeah. That's why I said it the other way. Theosophical.
My mom warned me about Madame Blavatsky when I was growing up. All right, she was my
The
boogeyman.
worst. Mm-hmm. I can just see her sitting above your bed and this older fat lady looking down on you.
My mom's
Gil?
not fat. My mom's not fat.
She looked fat from that was artist rendering. Anyways, let me get into it.
What? Artist
Don't worry
rendering?
about it. Don't worry about this.
You just called my mom fat. It wasn't even a your mama's
I
so
know
fat
I didn't
joke. It
say
was
your
just,
mom was fat. I
it
said
was
Madame
a general.
Blavatsky. I meant Madame
Okay.
Blavatsky, not your mom.
Okay, thank you. That was like I was gonna call our mom, your forcefully adopted mom, and I was gonna be like, Joey said some
Jesus
shit.
Saint Germain Christ, okay?
But no, I mean, I just said my mom warned me about her, and then you were like, I could just see her sitting over your bed, and so that's why we can replay it. We can replay it. It's recorded. Audience,
Oh,
let us
we're not
know.
going to do that.
Did Joey
you
just
let us
like?
know.
Did Joey just dry hump a Yo Mama's joke live on air? Like, he didn't get to the punchline, but he did punch me right in the heart a little bit. My mom's bringing you a
Yeah.
gift when she comes down here, man.
Gil, I appreciate that. I just definitely got to the belt line. I didn't get to the punchline, though.
It was below the belt, near the uterus, where I came out of. With my mom.
So cute. Well, Madame Blavatsky, who created the...
Bitch, I'll cut you.
Oh, God, I can't even talk. I can't even say the word. Thank you. Theosophical.
Go for it, bro.
Theosophical.
Can you say it?
Theosophical. Theosophical. Society.
It's like
Theosophical.
Theo,
I know.
and then think of like
Theosophical.
Sophocles. I know that didn't help at all. But anyways,
No, I just...
theosophical.
Let me get...
Like philosophical, Theo at the front.
Theosophical.
Theosophical.
Yep. Gotcha. Madame Blavatsky, who created the Theosophical Society, Blavatsky claimed she was studying under Saint Germain and trying to learn his secrets to meditation, time travel, eternal life. All those small things, right?
The basics.
Now, the basics. There is a photo of the two of them together. Well, it's Madame Blavatsky and three masters, one of which is Saint Germain. Now, I really did some research into this photo, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a real photo. It's not a real photo.
Shit!
It's not a real photo. I know. I was excited to see it. I was excited to just look at this and be like, damn, that's like Madame Blavatsky. That's Saint Germain. That's two other
Kurt
people I
Russell,
didn't recognize their
Tom
names. Kurt
Cruise,
Russell.
Betty White, Dwayne the Brock Johnson, like, which was a later career for Herbert.
Snoop
So
Dogg.
many people.
He was there. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, obviously, but I'm just saying,
Ascended
like,
master.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, Joey, look, like, we don't generally dive into conspiracies here on the Black Cat Report.
Oh, we don't?
We don't generally dive into conspiracies, theories, or anything, I would say, fringe from reality, right?
Correct.
Are you trying to say here, right now, on this episode, I really want you to think about this. You are under oath. Are you trying to tell me that there is an image circulating on the World Wide Web right now that might be falsely depicting a historical event? Is that what you're claiming, Joey?
Yes. That is
Think
what
about
I'm
your
claiming.
words.
I am claiming. I hand to Germain. I'm claiming that.
Okay. You know, hey, you. All right. Just
Yeah,
it's getting hard. It's getting hard. We might not make it to episode 110 with talk like that, but
True.
I trust you got the references. That's all I'm
This
saying.
is what I found.
Okay, so
it's literally not a photograph. It is a drawing that somebody made of them. Of their idea of them. It wasn't a drawing that.
So you're trying to tell me that the image I saw yesterday of Jesus Christ ordering a tall double mocha frappe latte from Starbucks wasn't real.
If it's the one that had Donald Trump sitting next to him, paying for it,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's not real. I don't think that's real. No. I don't
What?
think that's real. Yeah, I think you've been duped. You know, we're gonna get into AI right now. We're gonna get into AI and the part it plays in politics. This is gonna be the rest of the episode, and you actually have to tune into part 3 and 5 to get the end of the Saint Germain story, because
We don't talk about number 4 anymore.
No, because 4 will be about AI and its part in misleading the misleading world.
Can't judge a crook by his cover.
Nope. Well, to be fair, there might have been a photo. No, there wasn't. I'm not going to be fair. I'm not going to give a second side of this. There was not a photo. It was just a caricature of them. It was just a caricature of them. Like, you
It
could
was one of
literally
those-
get on the side.
It was one of
that.
those like those beach artists that you see in like cities and shit like that. It's just like overly blown out nose and this and that and the other. Like obviously Herbert was in the background, just like cockling across all of them, and they were just like, ah! I'm like, yeah. That makes sense. It was just like, look at this historical photograph, and it's just like giant fucking chin.
No, and it's the funny part is if Madame Blavatsky, who was sitting down in it, and the masters were behind her standing up. If she had stood up, she would have been about 6'7", 6'10", because one of the other masters is supposedly six really tall. He's like 6'6", 6'7", and the way that the it's rendered, the way that it's drawn is that if her legs and she stood up, she would be taller than all of them. So it's like it's just a caricature of all these people. It's not a real photo. And it's funny that we get into this because this is a little side quest. This is like Saint Germain getting drunk, you know, and just ending up on a battlefield, which is probably his side quest. And then he fucking turned these two Bavarian soldiers' lives around by telling them, hey, your country's in your leader in like 30 years or 15, 20, 25 years. It's around there.
Too soon.
Your leader's going to do some real bad things. If you survive, which you probably won't, because this is World War I, and most people, a good chunk of people died.
Okay, we never, I don't know if you were planning this. We never explained these masters to anybody. We never explained the masters that you're talking about. Do you want me to take this or do you got this?
You can go and take it. I don't even want to delve into it anymore.
It's a cool theory, dude.
You
You
can.
didn't delve into it enough, motherfucker.
I'm
That's all
gonna
I'm
delve
saying.
into it later with the theories, and we can both talk about it.
Mm-mm-mm.
Well,
All
no,
right,
because we talk
so
about his math. No, because we talk about the master and Saint Germain being a master. So,
yes, let's give it to him now. Let's give it to him now
oh my
because
god. Okay,
they're gonna be 40 minutes in at this point. So like
okay.
we should. All right.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
So
Give it to
Joey,
him. Drop it. Drop
yes,
some knowledge,
brief.
Gil.
Gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, brief summary to explain what and who Joey's talking about when he's saying masters. He's talking about the ascended masters. This is a theosophical uh, belief that all around the world, and hey, message us if I butcher this because I actually do want to do an episode about this someday. But backtrack, all around the world, all throughout time and history, there have been these people, in huge air quotes, that have been born who ascend, who go past the realms of general like human potential, and kind
Mm-hmm.
of exist as these cultural, spiritual, religious, educational like beacons of evolution for humanity. So like Buddha, Allah, right? Or not Allah, sorry. So like Buddha, Muhammad, Jesus,
Mm-hmm. Mary.
and Quetzalcoatl, Mary. Maybe. Actually, I've
She
never
is one
heard
of
of a
them. Yep.
woman as an ascended master.
She is.
Okay, cool,
Mary,
cool.
the mother of
They're
Jesus.
letting they're
Enoch.
letting chicks. They're letting
Mm-hmm.
chick. No, she's not Enoch. That's a totally different thing. They're letting
No,
chicks in now. That's
Enoch is
cool.
a master. Enoch is a master, too. Lady
Yeah.
Master
So
Nada.
this is starting to sound like some anime that I watched. Anyways, so basically, think about all
It's
of the
probably based on
religious
this.
figures and heads and shit like that you've heard about through history. The ones that they wrote books about and then now kill each other over, because they're like, no, my book says peace should look like this, and they're like, my book
Mm-hmm.
says peace should look like this, and, like, and they kill each other over their concept of peace. Think about all that brilliant shit. So all of the people throughout history that you could think of that really just fucking like like Nikola Tesla and shit that just like go way the fuck past human potential even now currently that we still fucking talk about. It's part of a grand cosmic program that helps lead and drive the evolution of the human species. Those folks are called the Ascended Masters. It is a very
Mm-hmm.
down and dirty summary of it, but it's all the greats coming together for one last score. Basically, it's one big fucking collection of the greatest people on Earth that ever influenced anybody who just seem like untouchable in terms of like trying to meet their skills. Um,
Yeah.
Grandmasters are a cool concept. I think they are, but yeah. So
Well,
yeah, so Blavatsky, she was whoa, she was trying to become a grandmaster,
yes.
by wearing her heels that day and apparently being like 7 foot 400 inches tall.
Pretty much. Yeah. Trying to loom over top of them.
Yeah.
Right. Well.
Fuck you, Confucius.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that we've gone into the Ascended Masters and we have
Mm-hmm.
described what they are, we're going to hop back into that time travel machine again and we're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go fast this time. We're not even going to step out of the machine for these years
We're not.
because it is. No, no. We're going to keep rolling.
It's time travel time, baby.
Hell yeah. Woo! Hell yeah. It's in between 600 and 530 BC, and one of Moses' great grandsons gives the staff of Moses to Count Saint Germain in Babylon.
Damn. No. We need to chill here for a minute.
Nope. We're
before
moving.
we,
Nope, no more.
I don't know that
Nope, we're
anymore.
gone. Nope,
We're
we're going.
going. We're going.
Nope.
Saint Germain.
Time travel time, baby.
Hell yeah. It's now 1545, and Count Saint Germain is dining in Trento, Italy, with the Council of Trent.
It's time travel time, baby.
Hell yeah. It's now 1776 in Philadelphia at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and Saint Germain stands up and gives a riveting speech so everyone is galvanized to sign the Declaration of Independence, and then mysteriously disappears
time
even though all the
travel
doors
time,
were locked.
baby. Hell yeah.
It's now August 1930 in Mount Shasta, California, and Saint Germain meets Guy Ballard and inspires him to start the I Am activity cult, which has over 1 million members and still exists today.
No. Hold on. What the fuck is? All right. I'll cut myself out.
It's time travel time, baby.
Hell yeah. It's now 1870, and Emperor Napoleon III creates a special commission to investigate Saint Germain. And a year later, a mysterious fire burns down the building, and all the evidence inside is gone. It was Herbert.
Herbert just walking away with a tiny gas can.
Yeah.
Thanks, Herb. I owe you for this one.
Yes. Well, now that we've weaved in and out of years and stepped outside of our time travel device for a bit.
They just had all of his child support paperwork there. He's like,
it's gone. Damn.
2 for 1. That's what I call that. High five. Wait, no. High wing.
High 3. I think they have 3 fingers, right? They have 3 little claws.
They have a bunch. Well, yeah, chicken feet. But I was thinking about the wing, just like.
Oh yeah.
You know.
High wing. Yep.
Yeah. Burning. It just like collateral like luck. The fact that Saint Germain's like research and shit that is like
is all in there.
I had no idea that was in there. It's just oh my god, no, it's just Herbert in a tiny black ski mask with a fucking like tiny little thing of gasoline. Just like, what the deuce is that chicken doing? Is that a... Wait a second. Is it a mask? I do believe this wine that we got from the Western Province might be laced with something. I was a little bit curious earlier when the merchant sold us to it so cheap. Flashback to like 1 hour earlier. So you're saying to me that we can have this and the rest of the army won't know? I mean, I know that we get, 1.5 liters a day, but that's just not enough in times like these. I really need to settle my nerves. Bark, 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 bark. Really? From the wine region? Bark, 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 bark. I just, it's people like you that are honestly saints in society. Oh, yes, your friend's the saint. That's right. You are way too modest. Later, we need to get a drink together. I'll be sleeping well, you say. It was just like 25 minutes of just Herbert coming in. And just fucking setting it up so that they're like, I do believe this brandy's hitting a little strong tonight. And it's like, I think he's trying to mesmerize me. 45 minutes trying to get in there. Just anything possible to not pay for the child support.
And it burns it down.
The whole time, Saint Germain's just over there with Napoleon, just being like, "Look, I know you love her. All right, I know you love her, but it's not gonna work out, and you're totally gonna have to hook up with the little kid." He's just like, "That's not what I wanted." It's like, I don't care if it's what you want. It's what's going to happen. Also, I've been there. You don't want to go there. Where? Russia. But how did you know about that? dude, literally, you guys are just. Are you serious? It's been like months. You've just been working in that direction. You are a time traveler. Yeah, the whole time, Herbert in the background just trying
Yeah.
to fucking.
Trying anything but burning it down. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck it.
It just eventually it's just Herbert with his little fucking wing just flipping a torch onto the roof, but in
Yeah, yeah.
actuality it's just a fucking match.
Yeah. And Saint Germain
Yes,
and,
Hub,
and
I know we
Herbert,
gotta go.
Saint Germain and Herbert are just looking at it from the far, and they're just like, I smell burning. Herbert, he got a fire. Oh my god.
You were a
Fried
girl.
chicken.
No, you-
Fried
No.
chicken.
Oh, no. Wait a second, Herb. What did you sleep on top of last night in your herbal bath? You can never tell anyone of this. I have an idea. Yes, we'll get you to the medics immediately, but I need to write this down. So you said there was 9 herbs and spices you slept on top of last night. I would have never guessed. It's good for your skin, you say. I noticed you never had acne. I always thought it was genetics. Anyone can do it.
And we'll call it Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Wait. Well, I have an idea. Okay, but we can't tell anybody. We'll call it Can't Tell Anybody Fried Chicken. Exactly. Can't tell anybody fried chicken. Kentucky. Yeah, Kentucky. That'll be our code word.
Yes, Kentucky.
It's our safe word. It's the word
Yeah.
used to get into the safe with the recipe. Meanwhile, the fucking drunk ass guards that are all fucked up are just like,
They're just watching this happen.
You ever notice how short our commander is? Dude, don't fucking say that. You'll get in trouble. Bro. He's kind of average
Man.
height. I don't know. He looks kind of small. I can take him.
Man, I hope this place burns down. Have you ever thought about when you're at work and you're just like, I hope this place burns down? And then the guards turn around and like, fuck. Oops.
Bro, you hungry too? Yeah, dude. Go for some fried chicken. Me too. Just turns around. Herbert is already at a tiny little cart just fucking selling
Yeah.
fried chicken.
Yeah. He's making
Little
money
chef's
on top
hat.
of money. Yeah.
You said your name's the Colonel. I'll take 9. Whatever you got, I'll take 9.
Man, they must have left some pot in that place. I'm feeling starving, man.
Yes, that's right. We can use that special tea we found in India. Yes, I know you want some right now, but we gotta do things. No, you can't add that as a 10th herb. Okay, maybe sometimes.
Okay. You're saying, okay, we're just gonna go off the deep end. You're saying you want Coke? Coca-Cola. Oh, you're gonna call it Coca-Cola. Oh, Coke. Oh. Let's get this train back on the let's get this train right back on the rails after that.
Right after the Coke joke, you want to get back on the rails. All right, let's do
Yeah,
this.
because I gotta take a sip because it was my terrible joke that went off the deep end.
There'll be cricket sounds later. No, I'm just kidding. But-
Perfect. That won't even be in there. Well, now that we've weaved in and out of years and stepped outside of our time travel device for a bit, let's get into some of the theories about Count Saint Germain. Now, there's definitely a dearth of different theories surrounding this man.
May I go pee?
Mm-hmm. And welcome
Hell yeah.
to the Joey Minute, or
Yeah,
The Minute with Joey.
It's been a minute. It's been a
Mhm.
minute since.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Joey
We haven't had this. Me and you. It's me and you.
Missed you guys.
Yep.
Me and you.
It's me and you. Yeah.
You know, if
you're
you're
watching
thinking about
this,
burning down your job, blame it
Gil, this is called the Joey Minute.
on
So
booze,
go
peddling
pee.
chicken.
He can't even hear me. Welcome to the Joey Minute. Just you and me. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate all that you do. Appreciate everything you do. If you're watching, you get to just hang out with me for a bit. Just drinking a Coca-Cola. And I apologize if we went way off the rails on that rant. Hope you enjoyed it and hope you enjoyed the randomness that happens between me and Gil and hang out and talk and joke about random shit. Sometimes I hope that it's funny. I hope that you're laughing or you're just sitting there. And if you're part of our Patreon membership, thank you so much. We appreciate it. This is the stuff that we love to give to you guys. And that's another part. Now, excuse me. For that, I am so sorry. Yeah, we can't wait to be RPG Sims for you guys in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which, spoiler alert, we'll be doing a Hopkinsville, Kentucky episode near where we're there and maybe interviewing some people. We'll see. We don't know yet. We'll plan it out. We also have a lot of plans for new episodes coming up, like a revisit of an old episode and one of my favorite characters. Maybe a little getting Andreessen-y in here. A little Quasga blinds. Quasga Shade and Blinds coming back. But we'll see. We do also have plans to release the characters. Basically, me dressing up as characters, and eventually Gil will be jumping in too. That'll hopefully be releasing at the end of next week, at least the first one. The second one is going to be released by the end of the end of this month, basically. And so we're super excited to get these things out to you, and especially to all of our Patreons that are watching and that view us, and maybe everything that comes next. And thank you for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you're enjoying the episode, and hope you enjoy it when it comes out. And most of 90% of the stuff we just went through was cut. This is why we like to have the Patreon, so you guys can see us in all of our terrible joking glory sometimes. As I pour myself the rest of my Coca-Cola. And it almost spills, and it's perfect. You know, there's nothing like a good Coca-Cola when you just keep pouring it, or a beer. Sometimes when you're doing it, you're pouring it, you get right up to that ledge, and it stops. Nothing like it. So, about to get right back into this thing when Gil gets here and stops petting his cats.
We
Welcome
need to
back, Gil.
give a shout out to your friend Morgan, bud.
I think we can do that at the end of the episode.
No, it's because they're about to run into Captain Morgan. All right.
You good? You ready?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Well, now that we've weaved in and out of years and stepped outside of our time travel device for a bit, let's get into some of the theories about Comte Saint-Germain. Now,
Hell
there's
yeah.
definitely a dearth of different theories surrounding this man. Unlike Kiyuchi, he is a little bit more mysterious in his ways. He never had kids or a wife. It was noted too, and I don't remember if I said in the last episode, that he never ate. Nobody ever saw him eat anything. It's a weird
What?
thing. Yeah, no one ever,
But he-
ever saw him eat anything.
But he like pseudo died at a dinner at the end of last
Yeah,
episode.
but he didn't eat. He didn't eat. They noted that he did not eat a thing. He just came in there and was talking to these people. He did drink. Okay, so people said he never ate.
A
but
lot.
He drank,
Enough to end
he
up in
drank
different
a
wars.
shit ton. Yeah. He drank a lot. And I mean,
Mm.
you know, that was as the time.
I feel
He
like
drank
we
a
have the
lot
same diet. Okay.
Oh yeah,
That's
I feel
good.
like
This is
95%
promising.
of the people in Nashville. Yeah, hey, he's immortal. Yeah, he lived there. 90% of the people in Nashville don't eat. They just do coke and
But they do drink.
beer.
And they
but
do
they
end
do
up in the
drink.
middle of wars with a chicken as their best friend.
I feel like this is just connecting to everybody. Well, he was a mysterious person as there ever was. And I guess that's why so many people wanted to know about him, and they created all these theories about him. Well, I want to get into the first theory that I found. This is basically the theory of how he became who he was, an immortal, right?
Okay.
The first one is that Saint Germain is the wandering Jew, if you've ever heard of that story, right?
Nope.
Okay. Now, if you don't know the story, which to be fair, I didn't know the story before looking into it, the wandering Jew was named Cartaphilus. This man was Pontius Pilate's doorkeeper. And as Jesus was on his way to Calvary, basically after he got thrown out and asked for refuge, Cartaphilus told him, nah, go faster. Basically shooing him on, like, you can't have him here.
Yeah.
And he hit him, he knocked him down. That's one of the stories. That's who Cartaphilus
That
is.
doesn't sound very Saint Germain-y.
No.
You know
and
what
see,
I'm saying? He's not really known for just like hitting people. Actually, he's not known for being judgmental against people regardless of their status in society or hitting anybody.
Nope.
I mean, he did lead a naval like battleship in Russia, but besides that, he really wasn't that violent.
Yeah. Well, Jesus replied to Cartaphilus, I go and you will wait until I return.
Whoa.
So
Damn.
basically, this gave
said,
the rise
"Watch
to
me
the
now."
idea that this gave the rise to the idea that Cartaphilus became immortal. Because he has to wait till Jesus returns. And so this was the idea that Cartaphilus became immortal. And
that is some dirty Jesus shit. That is the kind of dirty shit that Jesus' dad always does. That's some dirty Jesus shit. I'm sorry. I'm quoting the Bible here. The devil never killed anyone. Actually, the devil never lied to anyone.
Nope.
God, Jesus, quite a bit. Well, not Jesus so much, but God, woo, constantly killing motherfuckers. Half the fucking planet at a time, entire cities, doing fucked up shit, lying to people. You know what I'm saying? Setting them up in situations that they were doomed to fail. If he knew that that's where things were going, then he intentionally set that up. You can't set out a bunch of cat food and be like, hey, don't eat that, and then just walk away, right? You shouldn't do that. Satan never did that. So this is some Jesus level fuckery right here. I'm believing this. I'm believing this.
I think I'm about to get canceled, Gil. Because I'm gonna by the Christians. Because I'm gonna say Jesus was to God.
I thought they mattered.
As Jesus was to God as I can't believe it's not butter to butter.
Mother Mary Margarine.
Oh, God. Mother Mary Margarine.
Fuck.
It just can go
God.
on and
Hold
on.
on. Shout out to my Ohio peeps, specifically anybody in the northwest-ish to southwest-ish. Anybody that's traveled north, like southwest, northwest, northwest, southwest, on 70. I think it's 75. I have 75. I don't know. I don't know roads. Anybody that knows me knows that. But point is, if you've traveled somewhere between Toledo and Cincinnati, which is the northern and southern point of the state, if you traveled 30, 40 years at any point on that route, besides the past maybe 7 or 8 years, then you know of Big Butter Jesus. That's fucking right. There was a church facing the interstate. There was a church facing the interstate where it was Jesus, like basically, it's like if you took all the sexy parts of Jesus, like the super ripped abs, and you just shoved them in the ground, right? And so you just had like Jesus tits up, right? With his, shoulders and arms, and just like acting like he just like fucking like his team just scored a touchdown at a game. He's like his arms are wide open. It was that in front of a church, in front of a small reflection pond, and then the interstate. it was the only fucking thing out there besides soy and corn, right? So you had, but it looked like the Jesus was made of butter. And so he was known as Big Butter Jesus. There's a folk song written about him. It's absolutely great. Every time I bring him up, my sister always makes sure to send me the link and play it for me. And I love that. But Big Butter Jesus for decades just blessed you with touchdown energy every time you drove by this random section of the interstate until Big Butter Jesus was melted by lightning. A giant statue of Jesus was struck by lightning and completely destroyed. So now, much smaller, but in the same place, they have mini margarine Jesus.
Melted butter Jesus.
Yes, they have melted margarine Jesus.
Yes.
That is there, giving small tidings and blessings to people passing by on that expressway. Goddamn Ohio. God.
Yeah.
Big
Making
butter
your toast
Jesus.
taste better.
I don't miss you. Anyways, so what were you saying about Christians? Sorry.
Oh, well.
You can't make a Jesus and margarine or Jesus and butter joke without me being triggered by my childhood. Yeah. I know you wouldn't have assumed that, but it's a thing.
No. I can't believe I opened that can of butter.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah. Well, this gave rise to the idea, obviously, like we just said, that Cartophilus became immortal and then just started wandering, unable to die. And then eventually, in the late 1600s and 1700s, changed his name to Saint Germain. For this theory, I'm just going to give this a nice toss into the garbage, honestly.
Okay,
but a lot of stuff.
Is it in the recycling, or and did you rinse it, or is it in like the trash?
No, this is in the trash because first off, the story itself was eventually used as propaganda for the Nazis to answer, in quotations, the Jewish question. And I don't believe that the story actually happened. I don't think Saint Germain, I don't think that there was a person that kicked Jesus walking Okay, we're not going to get into that. I'm just going to, the whole story,
I feel like Saint Germain would have known that he became Jesus. Well, maybe not in that time, in that spectrum, though.
Well, you have to ask, though, is like, it's the chicken before the egg, right? Can you know, that's the old standby, is like the chicken for the egg. Can he go back in time and change it before he became immortal and a time traveler?
No, he couldn't, because then that would mean he would never become a time traveler.
Exactly.
So that kind of takes care. So he could never stop. Yeah, that makes sense. But I could see Jesus doing some kind of petty shit like that. Just like kind of having a dad moment where it's like you act too much like your parents and you're just kind of like, I need to work on that. And just kind of like cursing some random motherfucker that's like literally their job is to keep people from coming in the gate all night. That's their only fucking job. He's a doorkeeper. Yeah. He keeps the door. He's like, no. Yeah. It's mine. And he's like, can I just use the door? Not at all. No. But like, I could see Jesus doing some shit like that. But I don't know. If you're going to believe in Jesus, you have to believe in Saint Germain. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. Because he is one of the ascended masters. Both of them are ascended masters. It's the truth, actually. If you do believe in Saint Germain being a time traveler and being that point, you have to believe that Jesus was also an ascended master. So is Buddha.
You have to.
And Confucius. Yep. Well, I still stand by the origin story that he was actually the son of Prince Ragosi because it just makes too much sense to me comparative to how the other side works. And I'd like to think that he learned to meditate and time travel through his time in Persia and then in India because it kind of actually lines up with a lot of the timing of events that he just started popping up in major historical events right after he went to Persia to learn how to meditate, and India and Tibet and those places where he learned. So I feel like he kind of learned there and then went there instead of it actually being Kicking Jesus. Pretty much. That's a cool band name.
Kicking Jesus, man. I think I've mentioned them before on the show, and I've tried to find their music. One of my favorite local punk bands. They were favorite by default, which is perfectly punk. They were the only local punk band at my high school. Was Slutty Babies. And they had
Oh
some
my
great
God.
hits, which was Jesus Was a Fag. That was one of their best hits in our incredibly Christian town. That was great. And it was so classic, like 90s, early 2000s, like punk. But Kickin' Jesus, I feel like if I could time travel, I know exactly who the fuck I would talk to, and maybe I'd be able to get in. I'd be cool enough to get into one of their shows. That's
Make sure.
back
Yeah.
in the day.
Well,
But okay, so I want to stop you here real quick.
you can.
I'm gonna push you on that theory.
I was gonna dive
well, I
into
want to.
the band name.
Well, I want to literally push your theory. If
Good.
you're saying that Saint Germain went to India, right, or at least the Southeast Asia area, learned meditation, learned how to identify dirt and trees, learned to read Sanskrit
Nature.
at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, learn to, really embrace the overly ascended master, the overcooked master of Herbert. Then that also would entail. Then that would also entail that there were other folks coming out of the region at the time, either slightly before, guaranteed, but it's highly likely that there's other folks who walked a similar path or that teleported or caulked a similar path as Herbert throughout time coming out of India. So if you're gonna say that, you gotta back it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you can right now, but later episode. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I could do some more research and find some other people.
I'll look into
the
India.
region. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna balk at you. Trying to trying to throw me under the bus. Well, if you do believe that in a way, you could see that Madame Blavatsky went to that area for a little bit to study.
I mean, a lot of people went to India for
There you go.
50, 60 years because it's slightly partially out of fetishization, but also it was something different than the neo-Christian bullshit that they were exposed to and the regurgitating of assumed pagan practices in Europe. I'm being a dick here, bro. You're hitting a chord. Like where
I'm helping you though. I'm helping you be a dick.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
flipped it.
I'm helping you. Yeah.
Damn it!
Oh God.
Like,
Yeah.
Ah!
Well, like we said earlier, Madame Blavatsky was another theory that he was. Let me rephrase that. Well, like we said earlier, Madame Blavatsky assumed that he was a. Let me rephrase that. Like we said earlier, Madame Blavatsky said that he was an ascended master. And we talked that ascended masters were basically humans who had taken the sixth initiation, also referred to as ascension, and thereby believed to be capable. Therefore,
Durban. Didn't they find the Durban? And then they go to the place and the baka.
and thereby believed to be capable of dwelling in a sixth dimension. She also said that Saint Germain told her he was part of an immortal race of beings living underneath the Himalayas.
That tracks.
Yeah. I mean, if he was an immortal race of beings, that assumes also that there are more of them, which there have never been anything written about them that I know of. I mean, honestly, there's probably something written about it. Gil's giving me the one finger, so there might be
giving
something
you
written about them.
the Uno finger. 'Cause, 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 'cause pretty much every time the Bible talks about humanity, back during, I guess, to quote Darwin, the origin of the species, right? So like every time the Bible talks about the origin of humanity in like the early days, humans are referenced as living in the 5, 6, 7, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years.
True.
I forget I forget off the top of my head how long Noah was supposed to have lived. I think it was like 300 or 400 years, if not more.
I think
Um,
500. Yeah.
it was an insane amount of time.
Mhm.
And this comes from the Anunnaki and like not the Anunnaki. This comes from the Book of Enoch and the fallen angels and yada yada yada, where it's like angels came down and they're like, damn, human ladies are fun. Like, dude, you see that thought? Yeah. Like, and they just like ran over there and did some Zeus style shit on a bunch of human ladies. And then it became a hybrid race and yada yada yada. But I'm just saying, like, the early Christianity, it was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years was like the normal age to live. Now, take that exact same thing. Early Buddhism, the non-Buddha Dharma, right? So the non-Dharma versions of Buddhism, they also, in a lot of the practices, they reflected like the Buddhas would live for hundreds, if not thousands of years. We'd actually talked about this on an episode a long fucking time ago. I don't even remember the fuck episode it was. I'd be a terrible time traveler. There's a lot of religions and a lot of faiths and a lot of spiritual beliefs, and find your word that makes you happy for the label. There's a lot of those thoughts, right, that are out there that say that people live for hundreds, if not thousands of years back in the day, but then that changed at some point. That was Kyuchi's theory around heavy water, or sorry, ancient water, heavy water, something else. That was Kyuchi's theory about around ancient water and like life. The Atlanteans lived for hundreds and thousands of years. Right, but then the moon came in and fucked all that shit up. They brought that Flint, Michigan shit in here, just fucked everything up with its moon lead pipes. But so this connects. That's all I'm saying. This connects with a lot of world religions and like origin
For
beliefs.
Sure. Yeah.
That's the end of my guilt talk.
Beautiful. Loved it. As well as being called an immortal race of beings, Saint Germain was also linked to being the famous alchemist Nicholas Flamel, who created the Philosopher's Stone.
The falafel.
Another connect. The falafel stone. It's a new
It's a
restaurant
stone
idea.
I can eat.
Trademark.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking delicious. It's the philosophical stone. Wow.
The philosophical stone. Oh, dude.
Damn, I want falafel now. Fuck.
Dude, the philosophical stone is a new restaurant idea.
That is the perfect falafel restaurant or chain. Honestly, let's go big. Go big or not afford your home. That's what I always say. That is the perfect chain for two white dudes living in Asheville.
Yes, it really is.
To open and sell falafel openly without judgment is the philosophical stone.
Yes, dude. Money on top of money. I think we'd bring in.
Then after that, we're gonna open up another restaurant. Perfect pair. It'll be like the Pizza Hut Taco Bell, right? It'll be called "We're All Humans and Hummus." We're all humans and hummus, and people will be like, "What the fuck are these two white dudes selling hummus? This is cultural appropriation." But by the time they got to that point in judgment, they would have literally had to say out loud, "We're all humans." And hummus is a we are God, this is like with the right name, no, better than that, my man. With the right name, you set a trap door for your haters so that every fucking time they say some shit, they inherently look fucking dumb. I love
Yeah.
it.
And
The
and by the
philosophical
time
stone and we're all humans and hummus.
yeah.
Opening up
And by the
next July near the KFC on
2025.
Patton.
Well, it would make sense that he created the Philosopher's Stone because he looked 45 years old all the time, right? Like that kind of that tracks. Well, both of their stories also kind of parallel in a way. Nicholas Flamel was an alchemist who far surpassed the knowledge of his time and was well renowned among the people of his time, though it honestly wouldn't be until the 1700s that he would be described as an actual amazing alchemist, which was when Saint Germain was making waves. So maybe let me make another theory to add on to this theory. If he was Nicholas Flamel, and he did create the Philosopher's Stone and became immortal, what if he just sat there waiting and was like, someone's gonna recognize my awesomeness. Someone's gonna see what I've done. I'm living, I'm doing great. My alchemy's everywhere. Any day now. Any day now. Any day now. And then nothing happens. And he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And so he changes to Saint Germain and then writes a newspaper article about how great an alchemist Nicholas Flamel was.
So this Saint Germain was the 16, 17, 18, and 1900s equivalent of an industry plant. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yes. Yeah.
That seems like a lot of work. Like, that seems like, I'm just saying, sorry.
What else
sorry,
is he doing?
This is too
what
much.
What else is he doing? What else is he doing?
Well, better question.
Sure.
What else did he do by literally going back in time and doing all this other shit? That's all I'm saying. He did a lot of other shit. Although, like, here's the part that fucks with me. That's not the vibe of Saint Germain.
No, he never boasted for himself. No, for sure not.
He never came across as egotistical. That was part of his charm. That was part of him being so goddamn, like, endearing, and him not even schmoozing his way up, but being schmoozed all the way up, right? You know, like,
Yeah,
it was
'cause he
everybody
never
else
smooched
giving
people.
him.
Yeah, they smooched him.
Exactly. It was
Yep.
he was so, just like magnetically attractive in terms of hitting all the right notes in the ways that people become disarmed and trust someone. And he never took advantage of that.
Yeah.
An egomaniacal time traveling alchemist, like, I don't know, that doesn't really fit the bill to me, or it
Yeah.
doesn't really fit the beak.
Yeah. The way I like to see it is he was the way I like to see it, and I like to call Saint Germain, is he was never calling, always called upon. Because he never came to a person to be like, hey, can you hang out with me? They're always like, can you come be with me? Like, they asked him everywhere he went. He never was like begging. And I think that also added into his magnetism from people.
Morrissey.
Is that,
Yeah.
And it's the kind of, what would you say? It's the kind of, what are kids nowadays? Ironic.
Children?
It's very like the ironic part of it. Like, oh, I guess.
Why
I'll
did
go
you
hang
say
out.
that like that was new slang? You were like, what's that word all the kids are using these days? I heard it out on the street the other day. And they're just like, oh, yeah. And they had their backpack caps open too. And they were not dressed for the weather either. It was much too cold to not be wearing a sweater. And they were like, what's that word? Ironic. That's what it is. No.
I don't know why I thought that.
Ironic is
That was
not
a new
kid
word.
slang.
No, there was another reason. There was another word that I was trying to figure out, but that was
trying
part
to
of the
trying to
word
drop
that
a
fit it.
Rizberry with your slang over here.
My favorite word. My
It's
favorite
okay.
new word.
I'll let you cook.
Thank you.
But I'll
Well,
judge your
to be
food.
You can always judge it. Well, to be fair, I don't know. We talk about he's changing his name, right? So he's changed his name a few times. He went through a couple other names that were barely mentioned maybe one time. They weren't really even worth mentioning in the story because he's already done so fucking thing. Yeah, the American. He was called the American. Some people called him Francis Bacon. Some called him Sir Francis Bacon. No joke. No joke. Like,
wait a goddamn second. Hold on.
Yeah. I can't. I'm gonna gloss over it because that he was supposedly also Francis Bacon, Sir Francis Bacon. But I didn't want to add that in there because it's also
Really
not really. Yeah, no.
You know, Joey, I've noticed
We're not
over
gonna
the
do
past partial decade that I've known you, you haven't really aged that much.
Nope. There was also a recent appearance of a man claiming to be Saint Germain in 1972 in Paris. So this is kind of recent. This man's name was Richard Chanfrey.
Richard Ramirez.
Oh my God. That would not be in his wheelhouse at all. Talk about a 360.
I'm just bored now.
It's his, his villain
God.
turn. It's his villain turn.
It's his villain decade. But like, dude, could you imagine a time traveler who tried meth?
Oh my God.
Oh my God! You want to know why they call it
Richard
speed? Oh my God.
He might become Richard Ramirez, actually.
Oh my!
Because then he probably would, if it was like a Kyuchi time travel thing, he would travel so fast that he couldn't comprehend what he was saying, and so
but he would know every
meth,
detail.
But he would know every detail, and how crazy that would make you. You might become.
Oh my
Richard
God!
Ramirez.
Wait a second. Maybe meth is a time machine. We have to tell the public.
Well, if you want to look into it that way, the Nazis were using meth a lot, and they were trying to figure out time machines too. Mm-hmm. Connection. Well, this Richard Chanfrey claimed to be the Count in modern day, and then he appeared on French television, and supposedly on TV.
I'm the Count.
Yeah. Supposedly on TV, he turned lead into gold with a camp stove.
Like a Coleman grill?
Yeah, like a Coleman grill. No joke. One of those. It was just like supposedly did it. Now I couldn't actually find a video of him doing this.
This sounds like he just cooked meth on TV.
I mean, he could have.
He's like, okay, now what we're going to need is some Sudafed. Like, how the fuck do you think Herbert ended up in the gimp suit in the Pulp Fiction era? I'm just saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meth.
Yeah. Hey, all the greats go through it. You know what I'm saying? They all go through their drug era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, sadly, after this drug era, Richard Chanfrey committed suicide in 1983.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, I do not think this. I think that ends it to where I don't think he was the next version of Saint Germain. Sadly,
Tens of thousands of little red peck marks on his forehead.
Finally got him.
So who's the next? Who's the next culprit?
Well, to be fair, honestly, Gil, I don't think we'll ever know.
Oh fuck! There is no next. You had me going here. I thought we were gonna keep going tonight.
Well, to be fair, I don't think we'll ever know what or who Saint Germain really is and was. He was a person who, for at least 100 years, provably popped up in random parts of European history. He generally was looked on as a nice person and just a jack of all trades. Saint Germain was no Kyuchi. We're gonna go ahead and preface it with that for sure.
No,
Because, well,
Kyuchi.
he really didn't do anything to help out humanity with his time travels. I think for sure he was just more like every one of us. He did try to help a few people at first. He tried to help Marie Antoinette. He tried to warn the soldiers.
King Henry
that-
VIII,
King Henry the.
or whatever the
I
fuck
don't think
number.
he tried to.
No, he did. He warned
Louis
him
the,
ahead of time.
Louis
He's
the
like,
15th.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, the one white dude that was the king. Yeah,
Completely different countries at the time, but King Louis the
Whatever.
15th. Yeah,
they all look the
King
same.
Louis the 15th and
Yeah.
Marie Antoinette. Yes, he tried to help them out, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
But they ended up just getting killed anyways. So he
Yeah, he
kind of was
wasn't
like,
good at helping.
yeah. So I feel like he just tried to help people at first, thinking like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pick my head up, and we're actually gonna change history. And then he tried a couple of times, and then just went, fuck, this sucks. I'm just gonna fucking hang out with friends and start partying and just do whatever I want and just randomly pop up in history, which is what he did. And honestly, isn't that really what life is all about? Partying with friends. And that's what Saint Germain did. Thanks for listening to part 2 of Saint Germain. We are done with Time Traveler Month. Extended.
Hold on, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Can you go 6 sentences back and keep reading, and I'm gonna interrupt.
Yeah. I'll say start with, well, to be fair.
Mhm.
Well, to be fair, I don't think we'll ever know what or who Saint Germain really is and or was.
Unless we watch the 2008 breakthrough, some might say a documentary, Breaking Bad, where him and his friend Herbert started Los Pollos Hermanos after a long run in the 80s with methamphetamine, which, by the way, they accidentally left in the trenches in World War One. And at that time, a young Adolf may have come across it, at which point he would later write in Mein Kampf that he did not sleep during the entirety of World War One because he was so fueled by patriotism and love for the motherland. I think that's what happened to Saint Germain. I think him and Herbert went on to form the Chicken Brothers.
Los
But that's
Pollos
me. That's
Hermanos.
just me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Continue.
Yeah. I mean, you're throwing out solid theories here.
At least mine has video evidence.
Yeah,
In
that's
multiple
true. It's
seasons.
documentary. That's documentary. A 5-season documentary. Well, he was a person who, for at least 100 years, provably popped up in random parts of European history. He genuinely was looked on as a nice person and just a jack of all trades. Saint Germain was no Kyuchi for sure, because
No.
Kyuchi helped out humanity and is helping out humanity to try to prevent the future that he saw, the bad future and the good future. He's trying
And
to
you know
push
where
us
he
towards
is.
the good future. You
Yeah.
know where he is. He's working.
Mm-hmm.
Saint Germain really didn't do any of that. He did not try to help out humanity with time travels. He kind of, like we were saying, he kind of tried to warn some people that, hey, some bad shit's gonna happen to you. King Louis the 15th, King Louis the 16th, Marie Antoinette, and those 2 German soldiers.
He could
But-
have picked a better time to come when his pleas would have been more believable. This whole time.
Yeah.
If he knew
Yeah.
what was coming, I mean, well, all right. That is going off the assumption that knowing what's coming also gives you a clear view of how shit plays out. That might not be fair to assume, you know? But it seems like his timing for delivery was just like a constant bad historical joke.
Yeah.
You know?
I make the joke about being a superhero, but like, you know, you have me and my friends joke about having like a superhero with powers, but you have like one bad thing, you know? Like you can fly.
I have laser vision. but I get an erection when I use it.
Yeah, exactly. Like his
Ah,
superpower.
he's burning everything. Oh my God, is that a boner? Ah! Just like,
Well, it's just like the thing that he has like a
a bird,
superpower
it's a
to
plane.
time travel.
it's a massive erection. Is he a pole vaulter in the Olympics in 2024? Sorry.
Wow. Well, like the idea that he can time travel, the superpower, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his like one downside is he always shows up a second too late to warn the people that happens. So it's like he just can't figure it out. And to be fair, if you're a time traveler, you're not going to know every moment, of what's happening. And you're not going to continuously, and if you can't control it, you're not going to continuously be able to go back to the same spot or maybe even like 10 seconds later to be like, that's when I should warn him.
I was never good with timing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a premature ejaculation joke that could fit in here, but I got nothing.
Yeah. It'll come later.
Nah, I feel like the idea came too soon. Anyways, but go ahead.
Let's just set each other up for these. Well, he did try to help a few people out at first, and just like we said, hey, it kind of just didn't work out. So he just started partying and hanging out with his friends and telling people about all the historical stuff he witnessed. And like he was literally there, which he was. And really, this is what I want to end this on. Isn't that what it's all about? It's not time travel, right? It's not about going and saving humanity like Kyuchi, because, Kyuchi is this like unattainable person. He's doing this great thing for humanity and an amazing person. Saint Germain tried. He failed. And I feel like just like the rest of us, he's the normal time traveler. The one that there's no movie about. There's a book about, He's like the normal guy who just ends up time traveling. And he's just like, well, fuck it. I'm not great at this. So I'm just going to get really cool stories. I'm going to party with my friends. And to me, that's what this should all have been about.
Partying with your friends and ignoring the history and inevitable events that you know are coming.
Yeah.
He really is. Joey, I hate to steal this, but I think I just nailed it.
Do it.
He's the Kevin Costner of time travelers.
And you just named the episode.
This makes so much sense right now. You're like, I'm currently naming this fucking episode.
Yes, this is the episode name, the Kevin Costner of time travelers.
There's that movie where I'm pretty sure it's Kevin Costner.
The Postman.
No. I've seen The Postman 30,000 times. I've seen Waterworld 30,000 times. Parents were really into Kevin Costner. Look, there's a lot of things that led me to this attic recording right now, but I'm just saying.
That was one of them.
Along with
Kevin
Field of
Costner.
Dreams, along with Dances. What was I can name them all. But no.
Yep.
There's that Kevin Costner movie, which if you haven't held your breath too many times in the past 10 years, you might have enough brain cells to remember. There's that Kevin Costner movie where the entire country's presidential election comes down to one vote. And that one vote needs to be cast by Kevin Costner's character. Nobody's ever seen it. And honestly, I feel like I might be close to death, and I'm like going back through my life right now just in the fact that I remember it. But I'm pretty sure that's a movie. If not, I've got a great idea for a script.
This is the prequel to Field of Dreams.
I feel
it's just his character from Field of Dreams, but it comes down to the one vote.
But he's forced to move to the big city after tax code changes. No, but no, I haven't seen that movie, and I never want to. I don't even want to remember the name, but there's that movie where Kevin Costner's one vote decides the fate of the country, and everybody's focused on how he's gonna vote, and the whole thing is like, well, my vote doesn't even count. Why would my vote count? I'm just a regular man. I'm gonna spend 45 minutes of you just watching me doing regular man things, and you're like, wow, he's endearing because he's a regular man. Um, that's Count Saint Germain. That's the
Yep.
vibe I get. He just keeps showing up. He's like, I tried to tell you. Yeah. Kevin Costner.
It's called Swing Vote.
It's a real movie?
Yes, it's called Swing
Yes!
Vote. 2008. 2008.
I'm pretty sure I've been dying for an hour now if I remember that shit. What is the
Yep.
what is the Rotten Tomatoes score like? Is
Let
there
me look it
one?
up.
Is it one of the only movies that just never got a score on Rotten Tomatoes? It's just Kevin Costner with 37 different accounts, just being like 3 stars.
The first thing I saw was RogerEbert.com, and it was Kevin Costner saying, "I'll never make a sequel."
Oh my god!
Before we finish, I gotta look up the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, please do.
38% with 151 votes. 2 stars. That's a lot higher than I thought. Oh my god! And it's okay, never mind. I thought it was said chapter 1, and he just never made a chapter 2.
No, for a box office film to only have 138 votes on Rotten Tomatoes is more of an insult. Or sorry, 151 for a Rotten Tomatoes. For a box office movie, because it was a major box office movie. It was like, all the fanfare and shit. For it to only get like 151 votes on Rotten Tomatoes is more of an insult than any score it could have gotten on Rotten Tomatoes. To give everybody context here, there should be thousands. Because it was like... It was promoted culturally to the level of like Dune. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like constantly there were commercials and there was this and there was like like there was all this promotion and behind the scenes and what'd you think about working with her? Like it was like all this shit was constantly going on. And then it disappeared until I traveled back in time and remembered this horrible fucking thing that happened. But
his name's Bud Johnson. Bud Johnson.
And he runs a poultry farm?
He is a beer slinging loser. With the daughter.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. It
God,
made 16.3 million. I'm surprised.
Oh my. What was the production cost?
It doesn't say.
Fuck. It was 33.9 million.
And it's all paying to Kevin Costner's salary.
I kind of want to watch that tonight. Anyways, fuck.
Well, thank you for listening to part 2 of Saint Germain. We are done with Time Traveler Month extended, and we'll see you next week with another fun topic.
Pew, pew, pew. You don't know, and we don't know. But what we all know is we love you all.
Yep.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Before we
Bye.
hop off, though, we did want to say... Yeah. We wanted to give a heartfelt, extended, loving sorry to our buddy, one of our listeners. You know who you are, about the passing of your loving partner and friend.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
your dog. We love you, buddy. You got this, and thank you for listening and being part of everything we do. And
yeah,
it's gonna be all good, bud. Okay. All right.
yeah, bro. Can I say something? Can I say something here?
Mm-hmm.
The person of whose name we shall not say publicly. Yeah. Uh, we all love a lot of people in our life. Um, some of them have two legs. Some of them have four. Um, some of them have a beak and open up fast food chains in the northern part of the southern portion of the United States that eventually take over the world and the insides of our heart, just like the family member and close person that you lost. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry if this is rekindling anything hearing this. It's not what it's intended to do. It's just,
Mhm.
we're recording it in the past and it's relevant to conversations that have happened today. So just want to let you know, we love you. And although all of us have been there in some aspect, none of us ever wanted to go. And none of us ever want to go back. And
Mhm.
it's okay to feel, it's okay to hurt. But more importantly, it's okay to heal. And the reason why you love the the person in your life that you lost is because they reminded you every day that it is okay to be happy.
Mhm.
And so in their honor, I think it's a good idea to remember that. The best
Yep.
way to honor the ones that you lost is to remember that they wanted you to be so happy.
Mhm.
So, um,
We love you, bud.
we're here for you, bud. Love you, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.